Exposure in photography is how much light reaches the digital sensor on a digital camera or how much light reaches the film on a film camera. The more exposure, the brighter the image. The less exposure, the darker the image. The correct exposure for any image is what makes it look the best. Digital cameras allow you to change the exposure as you're shooting. Using the smartphone camera to change exposure. Well, not only did I show you earlier how to change the focus by touching the screen, you can also change the exposure on your image by touching the screen. I have this beautiful cup that my wife bought somewhere years ago. It could have been before we were even married. Probably was. That's when she really enjoyed her life. But that's another story. So, just kidding. Anyway, I have a decent exposure right now. I think that the lighting looks pretty good. The lighting from the left is coming from an outside window, and on the right it's coming from warm tungsten light bulbs. So not the best thing to do normally, but I just want to get through this and show you what I want to show you. Anyway, if I want to change this exposure, first of all, I'm going to take this photo because I like the way this looks. I took the photo just like this. I kind of like it. But let's say I wanted to make it darker or lighter. So I'm going to touch the screen. And remember, that also changes the focus. But if I touch the screen, there's a little sun icon off to the side. And if I put my hand on the screen and slide that down, it'll darken my exposure. And if I raise it up, it'll lighten my exposure. I learned this from my students. I didn't even know you could do this until, switch modes, until a couple of years ago. Notice it kind of reverted back to the color, to the brightness the way it was before. So the reason you want to know about this is if you can get your exposure correct when you first take the photo, you're going to have to do less editing on the phone and, of course, not long from now on Photoshop. And the closer you can get with your exposure, the better off you are when you go to edit. Because the more you have to edit brightness, contrast, and this and that, the lower quality your image will become.